My name is Joachim Borenius. I am the executive chef at Bouche on Bridge here in Sydney. I ended up studying engineering first. So after my military service as a tank gunner, I ended up at the university in Lund studying mechanical engineering, but realized after a jazz festival at the local student organization, where I was cooking with a chef from Washington for a week, that I had a lot more fun cooking than I would ever do engineering. And I took 3 years to study culinary arts and meal science at a university in Sweden, just because I wanted to know more. At that time, nobody was really talking about why things were ending up the way they did, cooking-wise. Like, you didn't really know. You're doing things most of the time because that's how they're supposed to be done, or that's what you were taught to do because that's how we always do it. So that's how I ended up at the Fat Duck, working for Heston Blumenthal. Working first initially as a commie in the prep kitchen, but then flipping into the kitchen and being part of service and learning quite a lot of things and seeing cooking done in a completely different way based on the actual physiological compounds of food rather than just being the traditional way of how it's always meant to be done. So I think it was pretty groundbreaking for a young chef to see how you at a 3 Michelin star level can do a beetroot gel that tastes like blackcurrant, for instance. And that was something that Heston was pretty quick with and realized that the sensory experience of cooking is very important for the experience of your actual dining pleasure in general. So I ended up at Per Se, working again in a 3 Michelin star restaurant, which was really an impressive experience. Cooking for Thomas Keller is a bit like joining a military boot camp. It's quite a military structure, but it's also extremely professional. Like, I've never worked in a kitchen that's more clean or more organized or more efficient in what they're doing. So it's really an eye-opening experience. Me and Mark, we speak a very similar language cooking-wise, and it's also why we've been cooking together for so long, because it's just, he doesn't need to explain what he wants because I know what he wants. You know, like, it's just, we're in the same ethical standpoint when it comes to cooking, but also artistically. Like, the power of simplicity, and again, so many dishes are classical for a reason, and sometimes it's just lovely to give into that and allow for the classic to be what's, you know, standing taller. Because if you're comparing your new creations towards something that's been well established and classical, and if you're not cooking anything that's better than that tastes better than that, or looks better than that, then you're not really doing something new. You're not really pushing yourself to evolve or to push cooking forward. And I think it's something that's lies in both of our nature and something we quite firmly believe in. So I think it's confidence. It's the question of knowing when you're done with something. Like, it comes to a lot of times, people tend to overthink or overcreate or overcook or overwork things. I think it's just a question of being confident enough to be like, that's a perfect dish, we don't need to let it go. So you'll see a lot of classics, perhaps with a twist here at Bouche. You know, nothing will be really what it seems, but flavor-wise, it'll all make sense. And we're reaching for high flavors and want to use classical means, but with the finesse of fine dining in a pretty relaxed atmosphere.